moment.
Yes.
I cannot say what's wrong or right.
No.
It's not hard to fool me,
No.
'cause I'm addicted to the good life.
Yes.
Yeah, lead the way, I follow. No need to say
No.
where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all, to the edge of it all. So tell your good night, 'cause I'll find a better one. Yeah, susceptible now before the moment flies. Ooh, so tell your good night, 'cause I'll find a better one. Ooh, susceptible now before the moment flies. It's not a problem,
No.
'cause I know what I'm getting into.
Yes.
Yeah, and nothing can stop me,
No.
'cause I'm addicted to what you and I realize. Lead the way, I follow. No need to say where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all. So tell your good night, 'cause I'll find a better one. Yeah, susceptible Guess I'm addicted to what you and I realize. Lead the way, I follow. No need to say where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all. So tell your good night, 'cause I'll find no matter what. Yeah, susceptible now before the moment flies, before it flies. So tell your good night, 'cause I'll find no matter what. Susceptible now before.
What's up, everyone? I'm Rob, and I want to run the world too.
Hey, this is Murph. I'm the maintenance man.
What's up? It's the real girl that runs the world. Nice try, Rob. It's Shay. I'm the noob. Welcome to the Waiting Table Podcast. What's up, everybody?
Holy, the real girl. First, you're the girl.
I'm the
Now you're
girl.
the real girl.
I'm the real girl, and we have some other real girls here, and I'm excited because it's a lot to keep you two in line sometimes. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And
I'll
I love
give you
you
that.
both very, very much.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us on another episode of the Waiting Table Podcast, where we have roundtable discussions about the hottest topics in weight loss with, of course, the coolest people from the bariatric community. I'm Rob, we got Shay, and we got Murph, and of course, we got you guys. So grab a chair, wind down from your busy day, and take a seat at the table. Murph, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, just excited to be here, man. We're outnumbered, outwomaned.
Yes.
Our wives can't keep us in line. Let's see if these ladies have any luck tonight. I'm going to talk about poop at some point. I
Yes.
just have to. I said I would in my stories. And so
Can't let the people down.
that's really all I'm going to bring to the conversation, I think. So we'll see. We'll try to maintain that.
Yeah. Oh, shoot. Do you see the neck movement on that?
I don't,
Maintain
I'm
that.
telling you,
And they snap.
can you fill people in a little bit, Murph, on what happened with you last week? Give people some updates because you're like a different person now in a cool way. I think it like knocked you loose a little in a good way.
Yeah, I feel super chill. Okay, like I just feel like just no. I hit my head. I was at work and had a little scuffle with a patient, and I went down, hit my head pretty hard, blacked out, bloody nose, concussion, sprained neck. It was a week ago. Still bouncing back. I start physical therapy tomorrow, and I've got another doctor's appointment, hoping to get cleared to go back to work. And then Elise had some issues last night with her heart condition that she has. So we were at the hospital till about 5 o'clock this morning. Came home, slept for a few hours. So I'm loopy, but I'm here, and I'm just feeling super blessed to be here, and just taking things nice and slow and easy, and not trying to be too serious, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what's going on up here, but I'm here, and I'm happy to be here.
I'm digging it. We got some attitude. We got some tie-dye. I like it. Morphine Murph is here to stay.
It's morphine time.
The morphine, the better.
There you go.
I love it.
Shay, what do we got going on tonight?
Oh man, we have a good show. I'm excited. We have some amazing women that are here with us that we're going to introduce here in just a minute. They run the Road to Discovery podcast. Murph was thinking about, starting Road to Recovery podcast. It's not that one. That's not the one we're talking about today. But these ladies are awesome. We have Steph. Okay, I'm not going to get everybody's names. Hold on, let me try it. I know we have Steph. We have Bex. We have Cass isn't here quite yet. And I'm so sorry. I didn't get to meet you last time. I'm very bad at this. A little help. Anybody?
Spooky VSG Barbie.
All right, thank you. Sorry, I know. Okay, sorry. It's all good. We'll get them all introduced. Why don't we just get them on here? I'm doing a very cool job. Nicole. Okay, let's bring them on out.
Right. Nicole, welcome.
Hi.
What's up?
Hey.
Hello.
How's it
And
going? Sorry,
Welcome.
Nicole. I didn't get to meet you last time, so your name wasn't stuck in my head quite yet.
You know, I was kind of fresh post-op, so no worries.
Nice.
and Bex and Steph. Oh,
There's Steph.
Are you sharing a pillow?
I
What's
see
happening?
Steph.
we
Oh, they
cannot
both-
hear
they
you,
both in
and you
there?
cannot hear us.
Let's try to guess what she's saying. We'll do. There's Bex.
Wow. Oh, here.
For our
There's
Spotify
Bex.
listeners that will listen later, Bex is
Whoa.
looking very comfortable.
Yeah. They're
And a little
laying
puzzled.
down.
Yeah. Well, Nicole, do you want to introduce while they're getting their audio
Yeah.
stuff? Do you want to introduce you a little bit? Tell us a little bit about you.
And also, because they
Yeah.
can't hear you, you can say anything you want about
Anything.
them.
Now's your
currently.
chance.
Thank God. So while we're here, no. I'm just kidding. Yeah, my name's Nicole. I'm originally from Rhode Island, so I'm an East Coast girl, but I've been living in Los Angeles for like the last 8 years. I'm a filmmaker, and I started my journey at 321 pounds, and I'm currently sitting around 160, 165. And I just recently had my plastics done.
All right.
That's
So,
Big fan.
awesome.
Big fan.
Yeah.
Cool.
How are you
Yeah, talk
feeling?
about poop. I am not constipated anymore. Thank God.
Exactly. That's a
After,
celebration
like,
in itself.
plastics, like you don't go for a whole week, and it's like,
Yeah.
But yeah.
How are you feeling since surgery? Like, how are you feeling? The constipation being gone, I'm sure, is a huge relief in a lot of different ways and all the meaning of that. But how are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I was going through actually a little bit of like a post-op weird depression type thing. The recovery is very difficult, and a lot of people don't show the in-between. They just show the before and the after. So I've been trying to show my in-between and showing all the scars and the, openings and all that fun, gross stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling good now. 2 days away from 1 month post-op. So
Nice. Congrats. That's so amazing.
Very cool. Very cool.
Oh, and we got Cass with us.
Cass.
Hey.
Cass.
What is up?
Sorry.
That's okay.
Children duty calls.
Hey, we know
We
how
were
it
just
is.
talking about poop duty. We'll take that too. It's all good. We just kicked it off hot,
I didn't
Yeah.
mention it this time. That wasn't me.
No.
I didn't. Yeah. So
And we're
Well,
also waiting for Steph and Bex to work
there.
out the technical issue.
get
But-
that
They
group
look
together.
frozen? They frozen?
No,
No,
they just
listen.
it's the audio, but we see them,
Oh.
and we were trying to guess earlier what they're saying, but this is good.
It's your time to give us all of the secrets about them, because I don't know if they can hear us, but they definitely can't talk back right now. So if you don't want to give secrets, you could just maybe introduce yourself, Cass, and just tell us a little bit about you.
All right. Well, I'm Cass, aka Queen Sparkle Sleeve on Instagram. I live in Alaska. I am a mom, and yeah, I had VSG on June 23rd, 2021. I weighed almost 400 pounds at my heaviest at a height of 5'3". I've dealt with being obese for nearly a little over 3 decades, probably. So I spent pretty much my whole life being the fat, funny friend. When I was 12, I already weighed 202 pounds, and it was the most mortifying thing of my life. If you're old enough to know, they used to do that presidential testing in school where you did the whole bend over, touch toe thing. Well, when they did that the year I was 12, they also weighed the whole class in front of each other.
Oh my God.
And when I stepped on the scale and I was 202 pounds at 12 years old, I was mortified and totally embarrassed in front of everybody. And I was already very well endowed as a young girl. I started my cycle when I was 10, so I developed faster, and I was pretty much the first girl in my grade level to be so voluptuous. So I also like wore a lot of baggy clothes, and then I just kind of got teased and picked on. One, not only because of my weight, but because of my body. So yeah, I've dealt with a love-hate relationship with my body for many years. So I've had 3 children biologically, and January of 2021, well, I had my son on my birthday of 2020. So I was 38 when I gave birth to him. So January of 2021, I just kind of had a breakdown. I had been, dieting my whole life. I've done everything under the sky, under the stars to try and get everything under control, but to no avail. And on my own, I've lost 100 pounds probably 3 or 4 times, with killing myself in the gym, with doing all of the diets, doing keto, doing, whatever, you name it. But I really just had a breakdown, and I was in a very depressed state of mind, and I had been doing research, and I just never thought that weight loss surgery was something that I could do or, afford or anything like that. But I went online, I was researching, and I found Blossom, and I called them in January of 2021 after I had a breakdown. I told my husband, look, I need to do something. I need to do something permanent. Like, this is like literally the last resort that I have. I cannot keep killing myself in the gym. I can't keep, yo-yo dieting. I don't want to do that in my life. And so I called, I got the info, went to Vegas about 6 months later, because I am a very, like, if I want it, I'm going to make sure that I can afford it. I don't like to do things outside of my means. And so I made sure that I had enough time to pay for it. I ended up paying like 10.5 out of pocket, but my insurance covered some. So went to Vegas, got VSG, and I've had really good success. And pretty quickly, like, I dropped weight really fast. At first I couldn't even tell, but everybody was like, you're looking small. And I'm like, what? I didn't think I was. But anyway, long story short, because I like to talk apparently. But I think I have ADHD. I'm getting tested on the 17th. So yeah. As the girls will tell you, I call them my shiny moments, because I'll be talking about one thing and then I'm like, I'll do something.
I feel you with that, girl. I feel you.
I'm like that
I was
too.
like, I took 2 seconds to explain myself.
And here I am.
Did I mess up?
I was watching Nicole's face the whole time you were talking to. I was just like, she's like, oh.
Well,
I like hearing all the stories. Thank you so much for sharing. That's amazing.
yeah, no, that's
yes,
super inspiring. Like to be able to share all of that, thank you. Like last time, when we met with you guys, we didn't get to know you. And so, now it's the other side of that coin. And so thank you for sharing that.
Mhm.
And I know that's hard to share. A lot of that stuff is really hard to share. And so kudos to you. Thank you for being transparent and vulnerable with us and trusting us with that. So I appreciate that.
I just, I hope that, I inspire and I, encourage people to be real and that people relate to that kind of stuff. I'm also a big advocate for my mental health and other people's mental health, because that's a lot of the journey, at least for me personally. I've been in therapy for 2 years. My brother died in 2021, which almost caused me not to go to Vegas. So I went into therapy. I've been in consistent therapy, like I said, for almost 2 years. But I mean, I've lost almost 200 pounds, and I'm 5'3", like I said, and I've gotten to 160. I also had my first round of plastics in January of this year.
That's cool.
I had a extended brachioplasty, a reduction, and a lift. And then I have scheduled my second round of plastics, which will be January, something in January. I don't know. January 22nd of 2024, I will be doing my tummy tuck and my thighs.
That's my birthday. That is going to be a good day to get that done.
Heck yeah. Okay, I'll shut up now.
It's all
No.
super exciting.
I love
Stephen
it.
Becks, tell us about you guys.
Hello. If you hear steps on knocking upstairs, it's Santa and his reindeer.
Or roofers. Yeah.
Or the roofers.
Not as mad.
Messing up this podcast. Hi, I'm Steph, bariatric warrior, and I have a Bex with me.
Hello.
Jelly.
Where do I start? Hi, I'm 6 feet tall. My heaviest weight was 278 pounds. Currently, I am 172 pounds. So I've lost 106 pounds total. My reasoning for having weight loss surgery is pretty different than most people. Mine was for a medical condition called gastroparesis, which is basically when the large part of the stomach, the fundus, is paralyzed. So you don't digest food like a normal person. Normal people digest food in 4 hours. It'd take me 8 to 12. Symptoms of that is like abdominal bloating, nausea, vomiting. It's not comfortable. So I was on daily steroids, daily antibiotics, and I tried multiple things. And of course, steroids made me gain 68 pounds, which I also have PCOS, metabolic syndrome. I was borderline pre-diabetic, insulin resistance. And so this choice and option was brought up to me. And so I had sleeve 18 months ago. And unfortunately, I am that 1% that had post-op complications, which required multiple surgical procedures. I think I'm on number 11. But I always stayed positive. I've always said I never regretted my decision to have weight loss surgery. In April of 2022, I did undergo my first revision, which was a ligament teres, cardiopexy, hiatal hernia repair, sleeve dilations. I know I'm throwing out a lot of medical terms, and you can ask me about it in the DMs. I won't get into that because I feel like I could just talk about my story 8,000 million years later. And that worked for 4 months and then unfortunately failed. I was without food for a complete 10 weeks. I was then put on TPN via PICC line. I had 4 feeding tubes throughout my journey. I went 8 months basically not eating or drinking total. So I am still dealing with, recovering from that malnutrition and healing mind, body, and soul. And I've worked out once in this 18 months.
With me.
With Matt. So like, obviously my journey is very different. I'm still dealing with some stuff, but I'm thankful that I had it, and I'm thankful for the things I gained and how resilient and overcoming of everything I am. And then I had my revision to RNY in December, and my pouch is beautiful. My intestines just hate me now. But yeah, I've been given more than it's taken from me, and so
Yeah.
that's what. Yeah.
And that's what I love about you, Steph.
Right.
Or one of the many things I love about you, Steph, because I feel like it's very easy for those of us that haven't had complications to be like, this is the best thing ever. And in a lot of ways it is. And there's still very much that reality of people who have, complications after. And so I just have found it super enlightening and like informative to me, where like I've been fortunate to not have, as of yet, any complications. It's just helped me have more empathy and just kind of understanding and knowledge around that. And for the other people who are experiencing that too, because it is more rare to find, other people that are experiencing similar things, it's so helpful having you share that. So like, I just want to call that out, that like yes, there's not as many stories, but that's why more people need to be sharing, because there's other people that are going through similar things. So thank you for always keeping it real. I love that about you.
And the
And
great
it's the
thing, sorry.
No. Go ahead.
The great thing is like when I was going through my stuff, no one really was sharing anything. I didn't know anyone, but then, of course, Maddie, Jody, Barry Godmother, Christine, Lauren, they had complications years prior, and they reached out to me, and so I didn't feel alone. And then I started, sharing everything and sharing literally the vulnerable, the raw, the ugly. And so many people came out of the woodwork. And I know probably 70 people who are having complications currently and said, because of you, I started talking about it. So that warms my heart that I've been able to help those people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just the mentality, the mindset. You talked about mind, body, and spirit, and you could totally see it with you. It is so easy for people who are going through this bariatric journey to have a complication or something, not even a roadblock, right? A speed bump, and all of a sudden they hate it. They hate they're angry at this journey and how hard it was, and to hear about the struggles that you had and the challenges, and you still can look at everything and look at everything holistically in regards to what you've gained and what the challenges you've had, and still be able to look at positively is amazing to hear.
Mm-hmm.
That's so awesome.
Thank you.
Sure.
And who's your friend with you?
Oh, this is just someone that,
Just here.
The roofer.
You got hungry and you came down and you're like,
Yeah.
I only came here to see them thighs.
Hey,
always.
they bring the girls to the yard. They do.
So I am becoming Bex. My story is fairly short and sweet. I, at my heaviest, was close to 400 pounds. My highest recorded is 380. I guarantee I was heavier than that at some point. I just don't know, because I was so scared of the scale.
Yeah.
Now I am 209 as of this morning, but that literally fluctuates 5 pounds a day. So we don't care what the scale says.
Mhm.
And I had VSG at Blossom Bariatrics in January 2021. So just over 2 years out, and less than a day and a half away from my first plastics. That's why I'm here with Steph. She's going to be one of my nurses.
Is Steph performing the surgery per
Yes,
usual?
yes. My guess is I'm going to remove 12 pounds.
Well, that's
Nice.
that we do have a running bet going on my Instagram of how much skin is going to be removed, and I am guessing closer to 15.
Man, I was so off with mine.
How much? What would you guess, and what was it?
I initially thought, I was like, oh, I'm going to get there's going to be I was 400, or sorry, I was 380 again as well.
Yeah.
And like you, I guarantee I was heavier. I just didn't want to break my scale, for me personally.
Yep.
And I guessed that I was going to be about 10 pounds, 12 pounds. And Dr. Shivers took, there's 5 pounds. It was only 5. And I was like, wow, really? I expected so much more. I had him take pictures of everything, because we did a case study for my work, because I had my colleague in the OR with me. And I was just like, no, I want pictures of everything, man. And so we took pictures of everything. Hi.
Oh, hi.
Kiddo.
Celebrity.
Hi.
You're a celebrity now.
Right.
Hi. You're muted. Unmute and introduce yourself, buddy. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Huh?
You doing good?
Uh-huh.
All right.
Yay!
I am
Hi.
Milo. Say, I'm Milo.
Mario.
I'm Rob.
Say
Hi.
hi.
Bye.
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 Thanks for being on.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Just flies away.
Right? And the best part about this is someone else has their kids there, and it's just like, oh my god, hey, how are you? And then my kids get out of here, I like stiff arm them. I'm like, out. No. Podcast, get out.
That's how I usually am. Like, they just kind of leave me alone. They know if the door's shut that I'm doing one of
Yeah.
these. So, but every now and then they sneak in. Marley is usually the one that's like all up in the camera, and she's a very big ham bone. You know, she'll be 6 next month. So,
Aw.
she's
So Bex, what's your guess for your
So
son?
I am guessing. I'm guessing 12 to 15, and the reason for that is because there are multiple other ladies who I am friends with who just had surgery the last few
Right.
days, and they have had 9, 10,
Oh, man.
11 pounds removed in skin and fat, and I don't look like them. I am 30 to 40 pounds heavier than all of them,
Right.
and my skin has a lot of subcutaneous fat,
Right.
like hanging out in it, like detached from the muscle. I can't get rid of it. So I am guessing that I'm going to have more. And
Mhm.
you're right though, Rob, like it has different, like, skin is deceptive in how
Yeah.
much it weighs. You think it's going to weigh a lot and it really doesn't. But I think that just based on how my skin is and how much Dr. Dry removed from these other patients,
Yeah.
whose skin looks very, very different than mine. Theirs looks much more lax,
Yeah.
very different. I just think that I'm going to be 12 to 15 pounds probably.
Yeah. And that's good to have an expectation and, based on actual work, especially work with your surgeon. Dr.
Right.
Shivers, I'm calling you out right now. Give me 5 more pounds.
Right,
Let's
where
get
is it?
taken
Come
out.
on.
I know. Come on. Refund. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. No, but that's
See,
awesome.
Dr. Dry up in Seattle, he got 10 pounds.
Mhm.
You only got
Yeah.
5.
We need to write a letter. Stern letter.
I mean, I think it's probably, and we've even talked briefly about this, about the difference between plastics with men and women.
Yes.
Is that it may be different for me too, because I am also having muscle repair and liposuction.
Mm.
Right.
I
And
did too. I was
a
actually
Mons lift,
surprised.
too.
Oh, I didn't have a Mons lift.
I mean, yeah. But like, but you get my point. Like, there's going to be
Yeah.
extra stuff, and they have to contour a waist for me a
Mhm.
little bit more than they might for a man, But so it
Isn't it
might be
exciting? Isn't it
I
like
mean,
crazy exciting to think
I-
about
I'm-
doing this?
utterly terrified.
Yeah. That's
Utterly
Murph. Look at
terrified.
Murph's face. He just pooed his pants
He's like,
right
no,
now.
thank you.
And she's also having the consult for her boobs and
I
arms
am. I'm
too
going to get
tomorrow.
There you
consult
go.
for the upper
Did
half.
it all. Did it all, right? Why not?
Yeah.
The boobies too later on.
Well, since we met last with the ladies on their podcast, which you guys should go listen to, Road to Discovery podcast, Bex and I got to meet in person, which was so fun. And she's my first very buddy I've actually met in real life. Like, you meet people on Instagram, so it was just really fun. But what you were saying, Bex, when we were hanging out was just kind of like that safety piece that I don't think people who maybe have excess skin realize, or people that haven't gotten to that place yet, kind of that safety that comes with skin. Do you feel like comfortable talking about that at all? I think that was just a good perspective that you had.
I don't remember what I said because that was 2 weeks ago, but
Because you were blackout drunk, I know. No, I'm just kidding.
but I think I remember vaguely what we talked about. But like, there is, I mean, most of us gained weight as kind of a way to cushion ourselves against trauma, you know, and the weight, and this may be different for men, but for women also, the weight becomes like a barrier and a buffer against a lot of things, especially, trigger warning, if you've ever been sexually assaulted or raped or anything like that. The weight becomes this weird kind of barrier. It's like, well, if I'm heavy enough, then that can't happen to me again. Plus, whatever other trauma you have, whatever emotional eating that you had that became a comfort and a barrier. And yeah, exactly. And now I'm about to, there's trauma in my skin, and I'm about to remove that trauma for good. There won't be that barrier there anymore. And I don't really know who I am without it.
But you're gonna find out who you are without it.
And the truth
You're gonna
is,
learn.
I don't know if anybody else has felt like this, is like when you were going into weight loss surgery, you had that thought of like terror, because you're like, I don't know who I am at a normal size. All I know is who I am obese.
Yeah.
And then you get to a normal size and you're like, oh wait, I'm the same fucking person.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like, I mean, there's might be some subtle changes, some mindset changes, right? But you're still the same person. I think that some of us go into weight loss surgery thinking it's just going to change everything. And it does change a lot. But the reality is you have to like who you are. Weight loss surgery doesn't fix that. And it's the same thing going into plastics. Like, I have to be like, I'm still going to be the same person. It's not going to fix or change anything. But I have to work on loving myself and liking myself without the skin, without the barrier, without the cocoon that I built around myself. It's going to be gone.
Yeah, and I think that's for a lot of people, that's sort of what the weight loss journey might have ended up becoming. I know early on it's very much about the weight, or it's very much about the health benefits of losing the weight. And then I think for many people, or a lot of the people I've talked to, it ends up being sort of a journey of sort of self-discovery as well, right? You know, we know who we are, we know a lot of aspects, but I think that as we get more comfortable with ourselves physically, we end up working on understanding more about who we are on the inside as well, and sort of like, you know, fine-tuning who we think we are. And it's a very interesting thing to go through as someone, as, you know, for me, I was 38 when I had the surgery. And so, you know, you're sort of learning about the type of person you are, even though you felt like, I've known this person, I know exactly who I am, nothing is changing. And yeah, you're right, it does to an extent, but yeah, you're the same person also, right? So it's a very interesting journey to go through. And it's not just physical as much as people think it is.
He
I
said it
feel
was
like-
a journey to discovery. Maybe we should change our podcast name.
Journey to recovery. We'll just meld
Journey
them
to
all
recovery
together.
from plastics.
Journey to
Let's
rediscovery.
have an offshoot. Of our regular
Offshoot,
one.
yes.
There
So-
you go.
To me, it's like, you know, when you're growing, when you're gaining the weight, you know, from whatever trauma it is or whatever you're eating, you know, whatever part of your mental state that you're eating from, it's like you're growing into that mentally and physically. But then after you have that weight loss surgery, the weight is coming off, but your mind isn't changing and going backwards with it. You got to do the work, you know. And it's getting to that point where, you know, where you're large and you get to literally that point where you say enough is enough. You know, the other stuff that you've done to your mind, it just doesn't melt away like the, you know, like the weight does. And so it's a lot of extra work for me. I feel like, you know, I'm down 291 pounds, and in my head though, like I'm just now starting, like just now. I'm 22 months out post-op, and I'm just now starting to be able to like even recognize myself in the mirror. Like I've been freaking myself out when I look in the mirror, like I don't know who I am. And I don't know if I like it. I don't know if I like these lines on my face and my chin, my jaw, you know, like just weird things that I should be happy with. I'm not, you know, and it's just like my mind's not growing with my body. And so it's definitely a huge mental game, Cass. I know you're talking about how you're, you know, an advocate. I feel like you and I, you know, we talk about that a lot. You know, it's a huge mental struggle, mental game. I would say weight loss surgery is like, it's 90% mental
Mindset.
and 10%. Yeah, it's really like the majority of it. And,
Yeah, I can't tell you how like many times I see, you know, just people in the community saying, wow, I just really wasn't prepared mentally
Yeah.
for,
yeah,
you know, weight loss surgery. And it really is. And I mean, it's a testament to like how important it is to just prepare, because a lot of people go into it thinking, well, this is going to fix all my problems, and it doesn't, because we still have a root cause. There's a reason why we have struggled with weight, and you've got to find it. Like for me, you know, me and Bex have similar with, you know, trauma is a huge piece of our stories. And, you know, I was not a person that had a bunch of comorbidities. Other than being obese, I have no health issues. I didn't have high blood pressure. I didn't have bad cholesterol. I was not pre-diabetic. I'm not any of those things. I never had any problems with health. But I knew also that if I didn't remedy it now, who's to say later on I wouldn't have developed health issues.
right.
And I have children, and I wanted to be the best mom that I could be for them, while also being finally comfortable in my own skin after spending my whole life being at war with myself and hating who I was when I looked in the mirror, and knowing that inside I felt like somebody completely different. But I had spent so long, you know, trying to protect myself from everybody that hurt me. And, you know, a change had to be made, but it had to be made here more than anything, in the mind.
Yeah.
And, you know, I have a diagnosis of body dysmorphia, and people throw it around very laxly, and I try to correct nicely, but it is a clinically diagnosed mental health disorder. It is not just something that you say, oh, I have body dysmorphia. No, that's not what it is. You're dealing with body distortion. It's completely different. So I always say, if you feel like you have it, if you think that you're dealing with body dysmorphia, please just go talk to somebody. Go talk to a mental health professional and get the diagnosis so you can actually understand what it is. Sorry.
Can you explain that, or can you explain that a little bit more, Cass? Just because I'm not educated in that way, where I don't know the difference between the two. Would you mind sharing that?
So,
or what you feel comfortable sharing?
No,
like
totally.
Yeah.
I'm totally fine with it. So, body dysmorphia for me, it borderlines with OCD. It's kind of like you know, if I look in the mirror, say I'm getting ready for work, and I notice something, I sit there and I obsess about it. I am having obsessive compulsive thoughts like, oh my gosh, everybody's looking at this thing. And it's usually something that only I notice. And it can be a very debilitating situation. Like, you know, I don't want to go do things because, oh, are they going to, you know, is other people going to be staring at this? Or, you know, sometimes I don't want to leave my house. I'm very hermity. Like, I don't like people staring at me, and it makes me very uncomfortable. But I will pick myself apart to the point where it becomes emotionally and, you know, more intense. So it can cause me not to go and participate in things. I've had it to the point where Like, I have to go grocery shopping, but oh my gosh, everybody's going to notice this. So I'll just turn right around and I've left the store because, I'm like, nope. So, I mean, I don't know if that kind of
Yeah, well, it's
sheds a little bit of light on like how I see it. And I mean, it's probably different for everybody that who has the diagnosis, but I know that if I get on that train of thought and if, oh, my cellulite, I won't want to wear my bikini or whatnot, because now I can wear bikinis. So that's fun.
because you had just said about body dysmorphia versus body distortion. And so with distortion, is that more so in your eyes when it doesn't impede with doing tasks? But like for me, I've experienced where it's been difficult for my mind to catch up with the reality of my body.
To me, that's body distortion. It's not on the same line as, where it is. Yeah, I mean, it takes our minds a lot to catch up with where we are physically. But I think everybody kind of goes through that because we're just like, we've been obese for like an extended amount of time. I mean, some of us, some have not, but I still think that like our minds like to just play tricks on us, and our eyeballs and our minds don't catch up with where we're at. I mean,
I just appreciate the clarity because I just hadn't ever heard it in those terms before. And I'm such a big like language person where that's just something I want to be more mindful of when I'm describing that. It gives me more accurate language to use for myself. So that's why I was curious about it, because I just hadn't heard of the differentiation. So that was really helpful.
Yeah. I mean, it's different when it's a clinically diagnosed disorder versus somebody just not being able to wrap their mind around, oh, well, this is what I look like. But I mean, you still can feel like you're 400 pounds. I mean, and that's just the way you feel too, I don't know. Anyway.
Oh, great conversation. I just find it really helpful.
I find that's a big part of it too, because I think there are a lot of terms in general in our community that I think for sure gets thrown around a lot. And I think a lot of it, not that it's harmless, but it's because people are trying to make sense of a lot of different things, whether it's accurately done or not. So yeah, definitely the clarity is very helpful in regards to that. I know that Steph and Bex, you guys have a couple minutes left before you have to get out and do some stuff. May I ask you guys before you leave, can you share with us how everyone can follow you guys, how they can get in touch? And I do want to ask one question. I know we asked this question previously. How did you guys get started with the podcast, getting all four of you guys together? Yeah, I know. I know the answer, but I'd love to hear you
Once
guys.
upon a time, there was a person named Steph and a spooky VSG Barbie Nicole. And it was like 12 a.m. at night. And we just decided to start parodying the Barbie song, but in the reflection of weight loss surgery and plastics. And then we're like, oh, you work in the film industry, Nicole. And we had this idea of going on the road in an RV with a GoPro strapped to our head and just like following people's journeys and talking about it. And that's basically how this podcast started. And then we're like, hey, Bex, hey, Cass, you want to be in a podcast? The end.
I like it. I like it. That's awesome. So who does what in the group here?
Everyone just points at me.
Everyone just points at stuff.
Steph says everything, and
We just are here.
I just rally the people together,
Yeah.
and send them. This is what we're doing. Here's the link. Okay,
We just show up. That's about it.
Yeah.
We're
And
very
Nicole,
grateful for stuff.
Yeah, and Nicole, you add your creative spin on everything, or was that just sort of the genesis part of it, and now Steph just runs with it?
I say this is like Steph's brainchild, honestly. Like I was in that beginning conversation, but I'm not going to take any of that credit. Like, all stuff
But
that
we
started.
do eventually want to do something with a film because
I would like to do something with filming and going to see people in different parts of the States and following them for maybe like a day or two and having them do like an NSV, like a, you know, a non-scale victory and getting that on tape. And, you know, I just adding another element to the podcast and making a visual for it, you know?
And
For
if
sure.
we could get it on Amazon Prime to show people what weight loss surgery actually is, that'd be great.
Because I mean, our whole thing is ending the stigma.
Yep.
Right.
We want this to be widely accessible. We want people to realize that you can get this, and more insurances than you think cover it. You know, people think that they just can't afford it or it's not covered, and it's like, no, check your insurance. You might be covered. You know.
Right.
And we want to, end that stigma that this is not something shameful. This is life-saving and this life-altering. And I think that's what, like, you know, what Nicole was talking about was one of the things we wanted to do was like, what's the one thing that you wanted to do but never could because of your weight? That's the thing we're going to go do with you.
Nice.
Like if it's friggin' base jumping, which no thank you, I'll stay on the side.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying. Like
Someone will. Someone out of you four will.
It will be Nicole. It's fine.
Yeah.
Or Kaz. There you go. So you guys. But like that's the thing is like we want to like make this something where we're really bringing the focus onto how life changing.
Yeah.
Well, Beth,
that's awesome.
I don't know if I told you girls, but in the beginning, like at my heaviest, I was actually turning my whole journey into a documentary. And I said that I was too big to jump out of an airplane, and I've always wanted to do that. So I'm going to film myself jumping out of a freaking airplane.
Murph will join you.
Not right now because
Let's go.
we have plastics.
Let's go. I'm ready.
Wait, would you really go with me? Let's
I
go.
would. Oh, I would.
Well, we talked about it with us because so the whole film and different media, we've had discussions about things that we would like to do as well. Like, so I love hearing from you guys. This is something that we've always discussed, and you know, we had talked about if we are doing, you know, having a certain amount of followers or reach a certain amount of people. Yeah, Murph and Shay would definitely jump out of a plane. I'd definitely cheer them on, right? Like I would
from the ground, solidly.
Yeah.
Yes. Like I see you with a little pinpoint in the sky.
Yeah, we'll film it from the ground and watch y'all land.
Someone's got to hold the camera, and I will gladly do that while I'm cheering for you. But no, this awesome. I love hearing all this.
Hey,
no, I know
we'll jump, and 3 of us will be on the ground. You know.
We'll
That's
catch
it.
you.
Who's going to hold the sign, right? Like I have to hold the sign to cheer you guys, to celebrate with you. So I think that's a very noble role that I'm willing to do for you guys.
Well, you think of mainstream media and like everything that has bariatric surgery in it are the very extreme cases, right? My 600-pound life, 1,000-pound sisters. And that's like the surgery is very impactful for those people, but that's such a small percentage. And so it casts out this weird, like, oh, you have to be, you know, kind of in those extreme cases to qualify. And that's not true. And so preaching to the choir. I love it, you guys.
You can be any weight, you can be any race, you can be any age. If you feel like weight loss surgery is right for you, then do it. So talk to the doctor. You did say, how can you hear us or get a hold of us? Instagram is at Road to Discovery Podcast. We also are on Spotify, Anchor, Amazon, Apple, and Google podcasts as well. Just Google Road to Discovery Podcast.
Whoa!
Sorry.
Whoa!
It's very impressive. I just wanted to let you know.
We also have merch, which our lovely friend Jess has provided us the ability to have. Which all those links are on our Instagram.
So you can have our faces on your boobs.
If you want our face on your boobs.
I definitely do.
I think we need The waiting table dem thighs merch.
Right? We all have our.
We need one that says use Murph 10.
Yeah, Murph 10.
We want to wear your
Murphy
guys'
time.
faces too.
Right.
Yes.
I totally want Shay's face on me. So you know.
Right here.
I
That
think
sounded
we'll make it
inappropriate.
happen.
Face face right here,
Girl,
right now.
really want your face all on there.
In any way that you meant it, I'll be there.
Yes. But Bex and I are signing off. We love you. You guys keep talking. Thank you
All right.
so
Yes,
much
thanks,
for
Bex.
having us.
Sending good vibes for your surgery, Bex. You're gonna do great.
You're
Yes,
gonna love the results. I'm so happy for you.
it's gonna be awesome. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
you guys.
Thank you.
Nicole and Cass, I have a couple questions for you guys, especially now that they're gone. I'm just kidding. But
I
you
thought
know,
they'd never leave.
right? I was just like, wow, you said 6:50 their time, and I'm like, it's 6:53. Hurry it up.
No,
Come
on,
on.
guys. Wrap it up.
I know that being part of a podcast, you know, Shay and Murph can attest to this, I hope. But there are a lot of things that we've taken from it that we didn't think necessarily would happen. And, you know, I am very, very grateful for the ability that we've had. And I think, you know, without sounding too like, hey, we're a special type thing, but there's a responsibility, I think, for representing our community and being able to reach out and have so many people reach out to us. Like, it was even messed up. So I went to help one of my friends buy a used bike yesterday, who wanted to get into road cycling. And so I'm training some new people to get into it.
Awesome.
And the person who we bought from, they ended up asking me, oh, you know, how long have you been cycling for? And as I'm answering it, the wife is just like, he's lying. He stalked you and he's watched all the videos and he knows all about your journey and everything. I'm like, holy crap. And, you know, even though they were not bariatric patients, like them talking about how inspiring it is and how, you know, we ended up sitting there talking for a long time about, you know, different family members and friends who have gone through things. And, you know, our story is not just sequestered to our community. It transcends to a lot of different other demographics, I think. And so for me, my question is, what's the biggest thing that you've taken away from being part of a podcast?
Honestly, community, learning everyone's journeys and how different they are. By like inviting all of these people onto the podcast, listening to their stories, different ages, different times of life. It's crazy to hear people's path and how it's not one linear line. Every single story I've heard, completely different. Like no one's had the same journey. They're all different. So you can prepare people as much as you think you can for the journey. But at the end of the day, I feel like unless you've gone through it, you don't really know or understand it to the capacity of someone that's, you know, hasn't, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
For sure.
And then also like with Cass, I've learned so much about like the terminology of things. I didn't know. I was very ignorant to that kind of thing because I'm like, oh, throwing out body dysmorphia. And she's like, actually, sweetheart, no. But Cass and I have had a similar journey with our arms. We were both so very, they're gone now. No more.
Yeah, like your post about zombie arms, and you're just like, oh, they're scary. I'm like, oh, they're not. They'll get there, right? They're working on it.
I called my right arm. I have Erb's palsy. It's something that you get diagnosed with at childbirth because they pull you out wrong and you sever a nerve.
Yeah.
And you don't have full mobility of your arm. So it's healing a little differently than this one.
Yeah.
So I call it my zombie arm because it's got more like weird things happening, but it's okay. We still love her.
There you go.
But yeah.
And how about you, Cass?
Oh, yeah. I was going to say.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Nicole. Finish off.
Oh, no. I meant like I was going to say, Cass, you can go. I'm done. I don't know what to say anymore.
So I think for me, the biggest takeaway from being able to be on, our podcast and other people's podcasts is just to be able to share, to be able to touch people. You never know who you're impacting, and you never know who you're inspiring. And I think that is a very humbling and awesome thing to be able to do. I work in mental health. I work in a behavioral health department. It's, something that means a lot to me. So I've always been the helper. And I've always wanted to help people, but I never really knew how I wanted to do it. So I found a love of physical activity, and that at first that's what I wanted to do. I started college in my late 30s for exercise physiology. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to specialize with people who dealt with weight issues because I've walked the road and because I feel the connection to the people who feel the desperation that they want to lose this weight so badly, in whatever capacity, in whichever way. But then the year my brother died and I had started my journey towards bariatric surgery, I am a recovering alcoholic. I started drinking at age 13, 14, and I've been sober for about 3 years. I stopped drinking in 2020, and my brother, he died of an overdose. He had 5 different drugs in his system. When he died, he was 28. And so my focus kind of shifted, and I'm actually, I switched my major for my bachelor's to social work, so I could do counseling and be a counselor. So I would like to help people with addiction and mental health. Anyway, see, shiny moment. I was answering your question, then I went and did something else.
ADHD for the win.
Seriously. Yeah. Okay. Now I just got sidetracked. But yeah, I think it's important that, we make those connections with other people in the community, and we're being able to be supportive of others and just kind of share knowledge. I don't know about you guys, but I love learning. I'm 40 years old, and I just feel like every day is a new opportunity to learn something and to make connections. And I've especially been really appreciative of the people that I've made connections with within our weight loss community. Yeah, I'm usually kind of a keep to myself kind of person. So, internet friends for me are very much real friendships, and they very much matter to me. And unfortunately, I live in BFE, Alaska, and I don't have the opportunity to go around and meet all of you guys as easily as everybody else. It costs an arm and a leg to fly out of here. So,
for sure.
but I do hope to be able to come down and do some events and whatnot.
Yeah.
Eventually. Supposed to be getting a couple of visitors this summer, Steph and our friend Becca, who is the awesome creator of Nevermore Designs, or Nevermore Rose Designs. They are supposed to be coming to visit me in July, so I'm excited about that.
Very cool.
They'll be my first berry friends I meet in person.
Yay.
It's definitely hard when you're sort of away from everyone. Like I every time I see a lot of our bariatric friends in their community getting together at different places, And I'm just like, yeah, in Canada, we don't really have too many meetups. And,
Right.
you
That's
know,
how I feel.
yeah, so
always jealous.
I always feel like I'm missing. And so, we always talk about things. We're like, oh, for this event, do you think we can go? We can try to make it happen. And so it's hard because, yeah, as you had mentioned, it's expensive. And, I'll drive everywhere if we can, but it's within reason, I guess. But
Right.
I met Murph. That'll do.
Yeah. You're the only Barry fam I've met so far. So
I'm surprised by that, Murph. I actually would imagine that there was a lot of people not too far from you that are just like, Murph, I want to meet you. That specifically.
Yeah, no, I'm not that desirable. I
It honestly thinks you have to be the person to do it. Like I was talking with Bex because she lives, we just found out, like 45 minutes away from me. And I was like you just have to be the person to schedule an event, and then maybe people will come, maybe people won't. But it's like, I think I've been surprised with people where it's come up in happenstance where I'm like, oh, I didn't know you had bariatric surgery, like, and it's been 10 years, and so I think there are people that would come to local things. It's a lot to like organize and plan it and schedule it. But I think that's something I want to try to do more this summer of like, hey, I'm going to do a river float this date and time, or I can give you the information. I don't want like creepy people to show up, but like, if you want to come meet us and come float down with me and Bex, this is where we'll be and when. Like, I want to try to do more
pretty private in my personal life about my weight loss surgery. It was always something that I was like looked down upon, like, oh, you didn't do it naturally. Like,
oh my God,
who cares? Like, I hate it when people say that, and I just want to wring people's necks and be like, why does it matter? Why does it matter how you lost the weight?
Yeah.
The thing that matters is we got healthy.
Right.
Like,
right.
But I keep it very much under wraps. I have, my IG for my weight loss, and then I have my IG for my my friends in real life and blah blah blah. I don't talk about it openly on my Facebook, but I'm not being dishonest either, because I do eat less in portion control, and I do eat within a certain range of macros, and I do exercise, and so I don't feel like I'm being dishonest. I'm just not disclosing everything.
I don't think you need to justify that for anyone, Cass. It's your journey. It's up to you if you want to share how you did it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
So, to say like that you do all this stuff, that's amazing. And we're also proud of you, but you don't have to justify that. We don't owe people a reason. Like, okay, great, go live your life. I got help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just and that's something that, I address in therapy. So,
yeah.
Because I've always felt like I had to justify myself.
I totally get that. Yeah. People at the hospital are starting to learn my story, the hospital that I work at. And I kind of say it like, oh, I had bariatric surgery, like kind of like downplay it. And I'm learning to stop downplaying it and being like, I had gastric sleeve, like I want to like talk all about it. And it's not for everybody, but it was definitely something that I needed to do for me. And are you guys hearing that, or is that just me?
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know. It happens every so often. I've been hearing it a lot on my end. But it's gone now, so I'm going to start talking again.
Nobody's hearing it, Murph. I think it might be your call.
I'm picking up like a satellite or something.
You're getting HBO or something.
Wow, man. That's totally rad. But no, it's something that I'm learning to be proud of. Like, I made a decision for myself and for my 7 kids, and I was, almost 500 pounds, and I was almost dead. And now I'm alive, and now I'm here, and now I'm skateboarding, and now I'm riding roller coasters. So I don't, if people want to judge me, let them be the ones that look like the bully, the jerk, or whatever, like whatever. Like, it's not, I'm still working on it though. I'm not there. I'm just saying,
There action or reaction to you has everything to say about them and
Right.
nothing about you.
Right.
Yeah.
It's interesting in my experience. I know we're wrapping up on time and stuff, but like, I don't know if I'm just like naive or like I just haven't encountered it, but it's been really interesting because like I've heard a lot of people say like, you know, people will say things like, oh, you should have done it the natural way or whatever. And I don't know if like maybe people are saying that behind my back or they're just like not saying it or I'm not seeing it. But like, it's weird because I have not had that experience of anybody saying that to me or like, or coming in that way. And again, I don't know, maybe I'm just kind of being naive to it or just like putting blinders up, but like, I just haven't found that to be the case. Like a lot of, I've found that people sometimes don't understand or know what it is. And so it's like educating and explaining what it is. But I haven't ever had somebody say to me before, like, oh, like you didn't do it the natural way or anything like that. So I think, I don't know, just interesting because I hear people say that and I believe that's true. And people do say that. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if it's, I just am not seeing it or like I'm being shielded from it. Are you guys blocking comments or something so that they don't hurt my feelings? Or if
I am.
never-
Yeah.
I've never heard, nobody's ever said that to me. Unless I tell them like a little further back, like in my story, like I lost 120 pounds before my surgery. And then they would say like, oh, why didn't you just keep going then? You know, like that's like the only comment that I get. Like, well, if you were doing it naturally, why didn't you just keep going? And it's like, well, because I didn't want to.
It's so crazy though, because like I know no one's ever said anything to me at this point. However, I do find that at times I preface my discussion of my whole journey with, I lost 100 pounds by myself. And then I had the surgery and I talk about why I had it. And the surgery really for me wasn't necessarily to lose the weight. It was to prevent me from gaining it because I know that I fail a specific way. I know that my challenges have always been sort of my all or nothing mentality and my inability to practice moderation. And so for me, it was like, oh crap, I just gained 60 pounds and I didn't even know it. And now, you know, my thinking was always like, now I have the ability to stop it and correct that behavior. And that 60 pounds might be 10 pounds and I can not let it go out of control. But I do find that it's, and I think I do sometimes feel a bit of shame when I feel like I need to preface it because I don't want people, whether they think that or not, sometimes, you know, as I'm talking about my journey, I feel like, I don't know if I feel like I do it. I don't know if I do it because I feel like I need to validate it or I need to show them that, or if I make the assumption that they're going to think that it's the easy way out. But I do find that I often will say, oh, but I lost 100 pounds on my own and then I lost 100 or whatever after that, which is always interesting to me because I am very proud of the fact that I've had surgery. I am very open about it as well, but I do know that there are still those, I think, mental and emotional hangups, regardless of how positive I look at this. So,
I found myself doing that as well. I lost 100 pounds 3 times. That, you know, and I feel like I always have to say that first before and then got the sleeve. But I started practicing saying, oh, I got the gastric sleeve. That's how I lost the weight. It's a tool.
Yeah, for sure.
But I actually have had someone come up to me and say, oh, how did you lose the weight? And I tell them and they're like, well, how did you allow yourself to get that fat?
Wow.
And I said, because I filled everyone else's cup first before my own. Now I concentrate on me.
That's it.
You know, but
Yeah, that's sad. And a lot of times, like I've noticed, at least I hope I haven't ever made a comment or that specific comment, but I know that I've projected stuff in the past that I've been really insecure about. And so hopefully whoever said that to you is, you know, looking at getting support for themselves. Cause like you had said, you know, it rarely reflects on, people's responses and reactions are rarely reflections of you, right? It's stuff that they're dealing with, but man, that stings and that's painful in the time, or that's how I would feel.
I think that was a really good point that you made in terms of what comments are actual reflections of. And I think that's a good thing to keep in the back of your head as you're navigating through some of these experiences. Because, you know, we're all new to this, regardless of how long it's been. Like for me, it's going to be 3 years this September, but it's still something that is minuscule compared to the 38 years I spent in my other life, right? And so I think that's a good thing to always remind yourself that it's not necessarily something about you as much as it is about them. Savannah asked a question: do you guys think your voices changed after losing weight? I've always wondered this. I think
Mine's gotten
different.
Mine's gotten a lot higher.
Yeah, mine maybe more because I'm on a podcast and I have to listen to myself as I edit. I'm like, what the hell? You have Murph that's like, hey, 1 pound at a time. I'm like, 1 pound at a time, guys. Hi, welcome to the waiting table.
My voice has gotten so much higher. It's weird.
Has it really?
I think so. I think looking back at some of my older videos, my voice was deeper. It was more baritone. I feel like it was. Yeah.
And I feel like my voice got lower. I think because before I used to talk like I would talk really high pitched because it was like my people pleaser that just had to come out
yes,
all the
100%.
time. And then now it's like, okay, no, I'm just like, this is what you get.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the same for me.
Mine got lower because I try to
go through puberty finally.
Yeah, like I was just like, I'm tired of my voice cracking as I cheer. Yeah. No, I'm trying to keep up with my
Attaboy,
voice.
Rob.
Whoa, damn. That's attaboy.
Attaboy, Rob.
I'm pretty sure I've always sounded like a man.
I'm jealous.
So I
This
just
has
kind
got
of have
higher.
a lowery kind of voice, but I'm a singer, so I've noticed that I can breathe easier.
Yes.
I can breathe better for when I'm singing, so that's
good.
nice. But
Yeah, for sure.
as for the way my voice sounds, it's all been the same. So
Yeah.
no change for me.
I got one question for you guys. If unless you guys have other ones that you guys want to jump in and take before we close up for the day, but I have a question. You guys are good? Murph, you gotta go?
I might run to the restroom again.
Oh my god, this guy, he turned 40 and he always has to pee.
Can't hold it.
Yeah, I get it. So my question is, we talked about a lot of, the challenges I think that we've had pre and post bariatric surgery. What would you suggest? What would you consider? Oh, he did leave. Holy crap. He wasn't joking. What would you consider, I think, the biggest benefit to your life that you've had, not necessarily because of bariatric surgery, but because of the change that you've made with your life?
Ooh.
Because I don't think that they are necessarily one and the same, right?
That's a really hard question for me to answer because actually, no, it's not. You know what?
All right.
Here we go. Okay. So before, when I was my old weight, I felt that I had to work 150% to be recognized like everyone else did. And now I feel like I don't owe extra to anyone. I can just be me, and that's enough.
That's awesome.
That would be the biggest thing that that changed in me.
And Nicole, do you think that it's, I think I know the answer to this, but do you think it's because you lost the weight that you found this new worth, or has it been there all along and you just recognize it now? Like, was it because you had bariatric surgery, or was that just what was the catalyst for you to see that for the first time?
I think it was something that was underneath all along, and it just came out like everything else came out. You go through such an emotional and mental journey, not just a physical one. And when you realize that you don't have to, you can fill your own cup up first, and then anything that spills over is for everyone else. When you recognize that, it's so freeing. It's like, oh yeah, I'm going to remember to put me first now, because you go into these habits where you put yourself first, right?
Yeah.
Your friends want you to go out for drinks. No, I have to go to the gym. I'm sorry, maybe next time. You put yourself first, and then you find that value, and you're like, okay, I can just be me. I don't have to go 150%. I can just give myself, and that's enough.
Awesome. Love it. And how about you, Cass?
State the question again.
So since this change, and not necessarily since bariatric surgery, but this change in your life, and you've made that change or are making that change as we go, what has been the biggest benefit that you've seen?
So for me, I think there's so many, but
Yeah,
I
that's good.
think the biggest one for me is actually learning how to love myself. I don't think I ever really did. You know, it's just, it's an interesting thing to actually have self-love for yourself when you've been at, like I said earlier, when you've been at war with yourself for your whole life. And knowing that I am a good enough person inside and out, and now my out reflects how I always felt on the in, if that makes any sense.
100%.
I always thought that, you know, my worth was tied to a number on a scale, or being pretty enough, or being enough of what everybody else wanted. And to learn that I am enough for myself was a big deal. To feel at home in my body, to feel whole as a person, mind, spirits, physically, everything's like that. I always say it's not a weight loss journey for me. It's a holistic journey where all of the pieces connect, and I feel in line completely. Because it's not just one aspect, it's multiple different things. And when they come together and you finally feel complete, it's a really great feeling. It makes me a better person. It makes me a better partner. It makes me a better friend, a better coworker, because I'm not always angry anymore. I was a very, very angry, broken person for a very long time, and it's been a huge change, and it's been the best self-discovery I've ever gone through. And it's not perfect, and I'm not by any means have I figured it all out, and I still have hard days, and I still have, you know, my depression and my anxiety and PTSD and all of those things that I'm diagnosed with. But those diagnoses do not define who I am. They're a piece of me. And I am learning how finally to navigate everything in a healthy manner. So, yeah, self-love.
That's awesome. And thank you guys for sharing your journeys and your different individual roads to discovery. See how I did that? I saw she smiled. She approved that one. Bex as well as Steph have already shared how everyone can find you guys on Instagram and on social media. Can you guys please share how everyone can find you guys?
Oh, Cass, you want to go?
Sure. You guys can find me on the Instagram at Queen Sparkle Sleeve. My DMs are always open. I'm happy to talk mental health, weight loss, surgery, anything. So I am a pretty open book, and I'm always happy to make new connections, make new friends, and share. So.
And
That's
Nicole, you can find me at _VSG_Barbie. I'm into like spooky stuff, so that's what I'm in there. But yeah, and also DMs open. Message me. Let's talk.
There you go.
Love it. Love it.
Awesome. Thank you, ladies, for sharing your stories with us again tonight. And thank you all, you guys, for joining us on the Waiting Table podcast, where we're serving the weight loss community
1 pound at a time.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
This is where we dance out. You guys are welcome to dance out with us. We hit a little heart for Rob. Sometimes he does it. Sometimes he doesn't. Oh, we got him there.
Thanks, guys. That was so fun.
Oh yeah, I like that, Murph. Hippie Murph coming in hot.
Hippie Murph.
Ooh, bringing out the glasses. I love this vibe. I'm loving it.
Have a good night, all.
See ya.
Having a